Hi, Courtney. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you on today.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for you to share with the audience of pregnant and new moms that are listening more about this company that you launched, Lolo, and how it's really changing how we support postpartum women, which I'm extremely passionate about. So, if you want to just share a little bit about who you are and kind of your vision for creating this company and what it is.
Yes, absolutely. I am a wife. I'm a mom of three. And after my postpartum experience, I launched Lolo. It really all
After the
started.
first one,
Say that again.
first postpartum experience.
N- Well, all of them, but I didn't launch it until my littlest was three.
Oh,
So took a little bit of time
okay.
due to fear and, lots of self doubt and so on and so on. But we did it. We did it. But essentially the idea sparked when I was breastfeeding my daughter. I had or my son. I had to use a nipple shield. I would always lose it. For any mom who uses one, what's on the market is clear. It was under the sheets, under the couch. I just could never find the thing. And I searched for a colored option and there was nothing on the market. And I told my husband, I'm going to create one. I know I can't be the only mom losing my shield all the time. And of course I didn't. After my son, then I had my daughter and I went through the same thing. And it was really at that point that I kept thinking about it and I just couldn't let it go. And my husband urged me to take the step. And even though I was terrified, it still took me another 3 years. But I decided to start the design process for the nipple shield. And as I was designing it, I knew that I wanted to make it beautiful for moms. If I was going to design a new product, why don't I change the shape and just make it really beautiful into a flower? And at that point during the design process, it really I just had this spark one day in my mind and I was like, "Wait a second. All of the products we use as new moms, newly postpartum are so stale and sterile and clinical. They don't make you feel like the amazing woman who just birthed a miracle. They make you feel like a patient, like you're broken." And I was taken back to postpartum and how I was feeling and how much I was struggling and how these products that I was using were just brought me down even more. And it was at that point where I was like, wait a second, why can't we take all of the products that new moms use after birth and make them beautiful and into accessories that they deserve?
Right, 100%. So I'm so curious, do you have a background in design? Like before becoming a mom, what did you do?
No, I have zero background in entrepreneurship, e-commerce, product, nothing. I have no background. Actually worked for Target. I was a store director, and I ran Target stores, which is how I met my husband. So no, I don't have any background. And some people are like, "Well, you worked for Target. You have to have some sort of knowledge around that." But the retail side of Target and the corporate side of Target are two completely separate companies, and they don't talk to one another.
And you did corporate.
No, 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 I did retail. I
Oh,
did
got
retail.
it. So you were
Yes.
in the store. So,
Yes.
I mean, I guess there's an awareness about what things sell in a store, like what things people are looking for. And I do think Target does do a good job at creating everyday things that are like colorful or fun, kind of like what you're
Sure.
talking about, right? So maybe there was a little inspiration there.
Well, I always say it would be such a full circle moment if Lay Lolo was sold at Target because that's where I met my husband. That's where I got pregnant with my son. I actually left Target to be a stay-at-home mom after I had my son. So if Lay Lolo was ever in Target one day, it would be such a wild, wild full circle moment.
Yeah, I would think you have some
Putting it into the
connection there.
universe.
Yeah. Why
No,
not, man? Why not?
yeah,
Target carries
yes.
all you know what? They have all types of just since I've been a postpartum mom, like 4th trimester, early postpartum, it's been several years now, my son's 8. And I even now when I go to Target, I'm like, "Oh, they didn't used to have that." When I was looking for these things, you had to order everything online. It wasn't like you could just pop in the store. The convenience of that retail store being around the corner to grab, something that you need those first few weeks after giving birth for you or the baby.
Yeah. Yeah, and even so I had my son in 2018, and those products didn't exist back then either. So it's very, very recent then since they started expanding their postpartum line
Yeah.
within stores. I
Well,
was even in just
hello.
the grocery store today, and they have they have nothing, and I was just astounded at the fact that, they have an entire wall of diapers and then nothing for moms. It was like binkies and a couple toys, and it was all for baby. I was like, "Where's the mom things?"
Right. So that's definitely changed. So yeah, why would Lele Low not be in Target? Like, hello.
Hello. That's right, Laura.
Right. So I do love that inspiration. I know I had to use a nipple shield the first few weeks when I was learning how to breastfeed my son. We were both learning. And I think also moms know that are really committed to breastfeeding. And if you're really having difficulty latching your baby directly on your nipple, those nipple shields are game changers.
Mhm.
So if you're losing your nipple shield, then it's stressful because you have a hungry baby who's screaming. And it's not like, oh, well, I can just pop you on my breast without the shield, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, we have to figure out a bottle we have to figure out something alternative until we get this backup nipple shield in place, right? So it's a big deal to have access to it. And I also agree, like as somebody who did not give birth in a hospital, I was never interested in a sterilized patient fourth trimester experience, right? I chose to not have that by
Mhm.
giving birth at home. So why do I want to be still feeling like I'm in a hospital in the comfort of my own home? I don't.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, a lot of my desire for Le Lolo was not about the product. It's not about what we're selling. Yes, I wanted to make them beautiful so that I really want them to be physical reminders to a new mom that when she uses our products and they are beautiful, that she is beautiful, strong, worthy in that moment that can feel so heavy. But also, how are we changing the way we care for moms? How are we putting the focus back on the mom who's taking care of the baby and not necessarily just the baby? I think society has created, which of course babies are the best, right? They're so sweet and we love new life. But a lot of times we think about the mom through pregnancy. And then once the baby's here, it's all about the baby. And we forget to check in and make sure that the mom is okay.
Mhm.
And my goal and my mission with Lay Lolo is not only to create beautiful self care for moms, but also how are we thinking about how we're taking care of our family and friends who are becoming mothers with postpartum, and I wanted to create giftable, beautiful accessories that people could buy for her to make her feel well and make sure that she is cared for and that she's being thought of as well.
Yes, 100%. A big part of this podcast is mama self care. And that is especially true in that fourth trimester when moms need as much care and support as is possible, right? It really does take a village, even when it comes to, let's say, a woman choosing to breastfeed and really having difficulty and struggling with that, which is quite common.
Mhm.
And that's where even a whole team comes in with the lactation consultant, pediatric chiropractor, the pediatric dentist to address the tethered oral ties, you know, um, the partner, all of the things, and having quality products is part of that team, right? And
Sure.
creating a successful breastfeeding relationship. And that's one
Mhm.
less stress for that mom to know, like, this is something that I'm really committed to doing. And now I am doing it successfully. I kind of overcame that hurdle, right? And on the other side. So, what else besides the nipple shields, what else do you have?
Yeah, so really anything that you need to start your breastfeeding journey outside of manual pumps and electric pumps. So we have disposable nursing pads that are shaped into beautiful flowers. We have reusable nursing pads that come in every skin tone. We have silver nursing cups, hydrogel pads, our nipple balm. We also have some really beautiful giftable accessories like a postpartum journal. It's half prompts for mom, half baby tracker. A really beautiful breastfeeding scrunchie that you can switch side to side so you remember what side you fed on last. But really, it's just an accessory for your arm that you could use for your hair also. But, like a little cheeky little reminder that no one knows besides you that you're using it as a tool. Um, a beautiful vegan leather bag where you can put all of your postpartum accessories in. I just remember having my nightstand and my dresser was just full of products that I had nowhere to put them and they were just strewn around. So I wanted to create something that was really beautiful that a mom could store her items in.
Mhm.
Just, I really my idea of the line came from the fact that I was so unprepared for my breastfeeding journey. I felt like I had to go a million places to get everything that I needed to be successful. And I wanted to create a box essentially, which is our ultimate set that has everything a mom could possibly need so that she is ready and prepared to be successful in her breastfeeding journey.
Mm. And I can see why this was like would be such a nice baby shower gift because I think a lot of times too, what I see back in the day, especially all baby shower gifts were for the baby. And
Mm,
now there's an awareness. I've definitely been hearing from previous podcast guests that that new mom also deserves to be gifted in at that baby shower, right? During
yeah,
her pregnancy,
yeah.
that we're already anticipating some of her needs
Mhm.
and making getting by getting her needs met, that will help the baby, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. So even things where you can so like gifting this type of set like you mentioned, or gifting care for mom, whether it's going to get massage, chiropractic adjustments, acupuncture after giving birth, all of
Yes.
that self-care and really recovery, right? This is also about
Mhm.
supporting recovery after going through several months of pregnancy and birth. This is like a pretty intense marathon, right? That now she's on the other side, and yet it's not like she's just done home resting and
I
eating bonbons, right? There's all this work ahead, but it's a different type of work, right? So,
Sure. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely, that's so true, and I think a lot of moms well, first, I wanna say you made a good point because our ultimate set just won the Parents Magazine Best for Baby Award for the best gift for breastfeeding parents, which is so exciting.
Yes,
Um
congratulations.
Thank you. But I think moms and sometimes I feel uncomfortable putting those things on their registry. Whether it's, they don't know who's going to see it or they feel embarrassed or they're like, "Oh, I'll just buy that stuff on my own. I don't want to put it on there." But as family and friends to be able to change the way we view postpartum and how we're caring for our moms and show up to a baby shower with gifts like that is so important and it shows that we're shifting and we're moving in the right direction as to how we're viewing postpartum and taking care of mom.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes too, like women are like, oh, I want to breastfeed, but I don't know if I can or if it's going to work out for me. So there's also sometimes those doubts that
Yes.
happen before they're like really into it, and maybe they've heard from other women how hard it can be, and that's where I just, am reminded how important it is to have that team support. I had a mom in my office yesterday, and this is her third baby. She has always had an abundant milk supply, has easily, for the most part, breastfed her babies. And this third one's been giving her some challenges, which was totally unexpected because she's like, I think a lot of times third time parents are like, man, I know what to do, right? Like, I got this,
Sure.
and
Absolutely.
they have an experience that a first-time parent does not have, and there's also an awareness that every baby is different and every birth
Mhm.
is different, and so there's still some newness that goes into that birth and postpartum period, and, but luckily, they did already know about having that team in place, so, baby's now 2 months, baby got chiropractic adjustment, baby got her ties released, and just all of us practitioners kind of reassuring this mom, like, "It's gonna be okay, you got this." I think that's really important too, and, you know, um, how you have all this amazing breast milk, like, so many women have low supply and or can't breastfeed at all. So like this is why we want to celebrate the wins, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy, especially in those first few weeks of postpartum, to overanalyze every situation that's not working out for you or to feel defeated if something's not working because you automatically kick in to that mama bear instinct when the baby comes into the world and you will do anything to make sure that they are cared for and you don't want to hurt them in any way or you don't want to make a bad decision and to be able to feel support and from a team. I had no idea that there were so many amazing maternal health experts. I had no idea that so many different professionals even existed for me and my baby after postpartum.
Mm.
So I love that that you're sharing that and that they have other tools outside of just what they're thinking in their head or they see on Amazon that they can use.
Yeah, it's so important. And even, back to like even if you are experienced, there could be something new that pops up. And um, for this mom, it was kind of fueling some postpartum depression as well because she was
Mhm.
feeling really sad about the struggles
Yeah,
and kind of maybe confused because she didn't have that experience with the previous two
sure.
babies. She's like, my other babies, if they were upset, I would just put them on the breast and it would comfort them. And this baby was choking on this heavy letdown and was like, do not put me on that breast for
Yeah,
comfort. I only want it if I absolutely need to eat. It was a different experience. So
absolutely.
recognizing that this is not like the baby's not rejecting the mom, right? And I also love it. The mom was like, well, I'm going to reach out to my team of experts to figure out how to get through this. And her husband's like, I'm going to reach out to chat gpt and get ai's perspective, and ai has some good information to give. AI was like talking about, is mom getting enough, from a postpartum depression? Is there enough omega 3s in her diet? Here's some supplementation in the amount of milligrams. Is she getting her choline? Like really looking at it from a nutrient perspective. And this
That's
is a woman
amazing.
who had 3 pregnancies back to back to back. So we
Mhm.
all know anybody who's got 3 pregnancies, especially multiple in a short term, there's going to be some nutrient deficiencies there. And that's why we have to be even more hyper aware of how to fill those gaps because those do contribute to postpartum depression. Just in addition to the external stressors of breastfeeding challenges and whatnot, right? So her therapist is like, oh, maybe you need some Zoloft, and it's like, well, let's look at see how we can actually fuel your body that's recovering and really get those nutrients in place and see how that impacts your mental health.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, like, that's an incredible tool that moms ChatGPT was not around when well, it probably was, we just didn't really know about it.
Yeah, I
That
didn't have
moms
access
can
to it when I was, newly
Sure,
yeah.
sure, that is so, so cool. So
It is, and it's also not in replacement of an expert, but it
absolutely.
but it is really like what the dad was sharing with me. I was like, "Yes, yes, yes." And then
Sure,
I said, "You know what? We're still kind of guessing about what your wife's nutrient needs are because we haven't checked it, but there
right?
are functional labs out there that can actually check her current nutrient state, which I think we should do, and
Mhm,
then we can supplement based off of those results because ChatGPT is still a general, like this is generally how much EPA, DHA fish oils you should be getting and how much
mhm.
choline and B vitamins and blah blah blah. And so, how much is she actually consuming in her diet? How much is she absorbing? These are still, unknowns that we can find out. And of course his response is, why won't traditional labs, be able to look at my nutrient level? I'm like, well, we're just not there yet. That's too wellness and preventive oriented. Unfortunately, like you can check your
Mhm,
B's and your D and your iron, but
mhm.
they're not doing a full nutrient panel through like a regular lab at this point,
Sure,
even
sure.
though that technology exists, right? So that's why it's
Mhm.
good to know that there are functional labs that are out there to check for these things so that you're testing, not guessing.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Just another perspective.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. So I love, like, the other thing too that you've kind of are sharing through this, and I've heard this actually now from a few recent entrepreneur podcast guests, where they got a lot of inspiration either during the pregnancy or like right after birth for a product that would benefit moms or children, right? And they
Mhm.
saw a need in the market and then they filled it because they're
Mhm.
like, I want this and it doesn't exist. So I'm going to create it. And I think that really speaks to, as women, when we are going through pregnancy and birth, we are at our ultimate creation. And that is such a ripe time to act on an entrepreneurial thread that, like, you got that download and you did take action on it. And I do believe also, like, if you didn't, down the road, somebody else would have gotten that download and you know what I mean? Like it's going to
Sure.
happen. These ideas are just waiting to be birthed into existence. So,
Mhm.
and it does take a lot of bravery, like you were mentioning, to say, I'm the one who's going to do this.
Oh my gosh. That was the hardest part, was taking the first step to actually doing it, because I felt there was just so much fear around the unknown. There was so much self-doubt as to, can I do this? What will people think if I fail? It is it going to work? Do people actually need this? And that was the hardest thing to get through, for sure, was the mindset piece of it. And I had to do a lot of work around building myself up, telling myself I could do it. I'm so lucky I have an incredible husband who just is such an amazing support and always cheers me on in whatever I want to do. And he was such a big piece of that. And I had to be the one to get myself to a point that I could do it. And I swear to you, on the days that I wanted to give up, I would get little nuggets that showed me that I just needed to move forward.
Mm.
And
That you were on the right path.
yes, that I was on the right path. I like, for example, I was listening to a podcast one time, so random. It was it's a manifesting podcast, and she was doing an episode on mentorship. At the end of it, she started talking about how a nipple shield saved her life. Like, and saved her breastfeeding journey. I was like, "Why is she talking about this? Like, this is a I don't even know how she got on the topic, but she started to." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so, so, so weird and so crazy. I just needed to hear it. Just a little moment to tell me that I'm doing the right thing,
That
the
nipple
universe."
shields really are important and they do
Yes.
save a breastfeeding relationship
Yes.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And then
Yeah.
I was so scared when I had my first sample to put it out there and have mom sample it. And the minute I found this Facebook group where I posted it, and I was so nervous to post it, and I did it, and the amount of responses that I received from moms saying, "This is genius, this is incredible. I needed this when I was breastfeeding." It was just such validation to continue to move forward. And I still have them going forward. It's not easy. I am just trying to figure it out as I go. I feel very grateful that the business has continued to be successful and we continue to grow. But there are days when I'm just like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? And on those days, those are the days when we get the most heartwarming customer reviews, or a customer emails us and says, "This changed my life. Thank you so much." And that is really the reason for doing it, and what keeps us going.
Yeah. 100%. So when did the product go for sale? Like when did it launch?
So we launched the nipple shield and then our nipple shield sticker in on Mother's Day of 2024. So almost 2 years. And
Yes.
then this past June of 2025 is when we launched the rest of our product line.
Got it. Okay. And are you looking to expand beyond that? Do you have other products on the horizon?
Um, yes. So I'm trying to be very intentional about where we're expanding. And I've thought many times around how we could get so large. But for now, we're going to expand solely within I would say, the boob line. I never like to call her, I don't like to be considered a breastfeeding company. Lolo is just a company for moms. It doesn't matter to me how, if you breastfeed or if you formula feed, however you choose, that is what's most important, and that you're comfortable with your decision.
Mhm.
So I would like to expand in how are we helping moms who choose not to breastfeed with weaning products, or expanding our line of oils and creams and products like that. Also some manual pumpers, just things around the boob and making sure that we are caring for every single mom, no matter what journey she's on and where she is in her breastfeeding journey or postpartum journey. So we're going to stick with that for now.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
like, and there's also lots of moms that are exclusively pumping, right?
Yes. Yep.
So that's another,
Hmm.
avenue. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's just new moms can never get enough support, in my opinion. So the more we can do to support them, to uplift them, to make sure they're getting the sleep they need. If you know a new mom, bring over a meal, offer to clean her house, like do
Yes.
some
Yeah.
laundry. Like these are the things that all new moms, especially those first 3 months, really need help around. And
Hmm.
every little bit just, helps her feel cared for and loved
Yes.
and
Yeah.
allows her to, I believe, recover more effectively from the birth. I mean, we see this in other cultures. Women don't even leave their home those first 100 days because they're just surrounded by a whole village that is feeding them and cleaning and making sure everything is done in their home, and all they have to do is rest and nurse their baby, right? So that is beautiful.
Yes.
And that is really the fourth trimester that, I mean, we're talking about here. So it is a very intimate, sacred period of a woman's life. And it's hard. But then, for me now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, once I was out of it, you miss it. You
Yes,
miss,
you do. You
yeah,
do. And that's easy for us to say on the
it
outside. And
is.
in it, it feels so, it can feel so daunting and that it's never going to end. But then, yes, when you're out of it, you miss those days because they're so precious.
Yeah, they really are so precious. And the baby grows and changes so quickly. Before you know it, they're rolling, they're crawling, they're doing all the things, and they're not just this tiny little newborn anymore.
Yes.
So it is a very finite period. And so I think the more that a woman is feeling cared for and loved, it's going to help her mental health, which is so important. It's going to help her bond and connect with her baby, I believe, at a deeper level. And that's really like the most important thing, in my opinion, is
Yes.
that mom is feeling good so that she can feel really good caring for her baby, and her baby is feeling safe and supported, right? Everybody's nervous system is feeling safe and supported so that they can thrive.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I have always said Lolo is so much more than just a product. Like that is not what it is. This is a mission that we're changing the way we view postpartum and how we're caring for moms. And that means so much more than just a product. But my goal is that everyone can know what Lolo is and they can see it as a giftable item that takes care of the mom because the mom and her mental wellness, just like you said, is so, so important. And that's really what we need to focus on.
Yeah, 100%. So if people listening want to learn more about Lalelo, how can they get more information?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is wearelaylolo.com. And then we are on Instagram and TikTok at We Are Laylolo.
Okay, great. And so then they can go on there, check out the products. And then I'm
Yep.
assuming Instagram also kind of has inspiration for postpartum
Y- Exactly.
support.
So I love our Instagram. We have an incredible community and we do a lot of just really relatable quotes and topics around just what moms are going through. So yeah, it's a good time over there.
Awesome. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and definitely make sure to check out Courtney's website and Instagram at We Are Lolo, and that is WeAreLololo. We Are Lolo. In addition, if you need extra support and guidance with your own personal health journey, I am here to help. As an IFM trained functional medicine practitioner with over 20 years of experience, I am now offering virtual functional medicine consultations specializing in preconception, fertility, and women's health. Please go to my website at drlaurabrayton.com and click Become a Patient to schedule a complimentary 15-minute discovery call with me to see if my program is the right fit for you. And if you love this show, please leave us a review. Go to ratethispodcast.com/well-adjusted mama and follow the simple instructions.